Hey there riders, MotoGP Chris here, and I wanted to take a look at the new 2020 Fireblade from Honda, and while I'm a bit late to the game, let's have a look at what is on offer with this new CBR1000RR-R, which yes is still an inline 4-cylinder, plus as we've come to expect there's an up-spec SP model which I'll outline at the end. Honda are calling this an all-new motorcycle, drawing heavily on the RC213VS in the engine department with the same bore and stroke plus titanium conrods and forged aluminium pistons, with the catchphrase Honda using here being a street-legal MotoGP machine. Plus there's a promise of a whole new level of performance, which is always a good sign with a 1000cc superbike, alongside almost everything being new compared to the outgoing model. The result is a new Fireblade offering 160 kilowatts of claimed power at 14,500 RPM or 214.5 metric horsepower for those of us still counting ponies. To put that in perspective, the base Fireblade was last updated in 2017 when it gained 11 horsepower to 141 kilowatts, or 189 ponies in total. Now we've seen a jump of almost 20 kilowatts or over 25 horsepower. Torque has remained relatively unchanged, except being a bit peakier at its highest figure of 113 Newton meters, but we'd really need to see a dynograph to see the torque curve to make much of a judgment in that area. The new Fireblade is running a short stroke inline 4 with the bore of 81mm and a stroke of just 48.5mm, which as noted matches the RC213V, while the outgoing Fireblade was running a bore and stroke of 76 by 55mm, with Honda boasting the largest bore size of any of the 4-cylinder 1000cc machines. Now, I could repeat all the technical information Honda have provided, but it's pretty extensive and worthy of a video all of its own, with the highlights being the move to that short stroke engine, a compact design with a new semi-cam gear train and starter motor running through the clutch main shaft, as well as weight, inertia and friction reduction. This includes titanium conrods, forged aluminium pistons, a titanium muffler and revised air intake system. The exhaust was developed with Akrapovic, and both models are running the same system, making an aftermarket system seem quite unnecessary. Larger 52mm throttle bodies are also now used with a rigid steel throttle shaft, while the ride-by-wire system is also further optimized with a focus on part throttle applications where control is exceptionally important. The electronic system continues to offer riding modes with 5 power settings, 3 levels of engine braking and wheelie control, with Honda's selectable torque control now including a slip change rate moderation system for rapid wheel spin, where previously it offered outright slip control. This seems to suggest that there'll be more latitude to use the system with controlled levels of wheel spin without outright intervention shutting it down. The CBR1000RR-R also adds something called start mode for race starts, which assists the rider with getting away by letting them use full throttle and just concentrate on the clutch and of course the lights. Those at the track, obviously, because no one would ever do that on the road. A new aluminium frame and swingarm have also been used, with Honda promising better handling and traction, with show of 43mm big piston forks and a balance-free rear cushion shock, with this being a light variant. The forks offer preload compression and rebound adjustment with 120mm of travel, while the shock features preload compression and rebound adjustability, as you'd expect from this kind of high-spec sports bike. Showa's new 3-level electronic steering damper is also fitted and talks to the IMU, alongside new Nissan radial mount 4-piston calipers with ABS that can be switched between sport and track modes, while offering rear lift control. Front rotors have also increased to 330mm items with a 5mm thickness, with the same Brembo rear caliper as found on the RC213V fitted to the new Fireblade. It does look like the Fireblade has put on a little weight, with the outgoing model a claimed 196 kilos at the curb and the new model now sitting at 201 kilos, with the wheelbase increasing by 50mm, while rake and trail were raised to 24 degrees and 102mm respectively. Honda also mentions the bike's centre of gravity and balance have seen considerable changes, evening out weight distribution and offering a higher centre of gravity for easier side-to-side agility. Much of the additional wheelbase is thanks to the swingarm, which is 30.5mm longer, with a minimal subframe keeping the bike narrow at the tank and seat, which is only 830mm high, although that's quite normal for a sports bike. The rear wheel hub has also been redesigned to save weight and now mounts a 255 tyre. Tyres fitted will be either Pirelli Diablo Supercorsa SP or Bridgestone RS11 tyres, with a 3.5 by 17 inch front and a 6 by 17 inch rear. One of the biggest changes noticeable at a glance, of course, is the new styling and fairings, with a big update to the front end where there's a very cool set of integrated wings from the RC213V also featured. The winglets are designed to reduce wheelies during acceleration and offer better braking stability, but they've been a hot topic since they appeared on the MotoGP machinery, with things heating up further when they were introduced on some road bikes in various forms, and obviously representing that racing connection. Personally, I reckon it's a very cool feature, more for the look than the technology and reason behind them as someone who's just riding on the road. The overall fairing design is of course to offer an optimized drag coefficient or aerodynamics, with the fuel tank 45mm lower, ensuring the screen flows air over the rider when in the racing crouch, while the front mudguard is designed to move air away from the wheel to the fairing sides, which you'll notice in those unusual convex sides on that front guard. The lower fairing also runs all the way to the back wheel, with a specially designed rear hugger also designed with airflow in mind, and Honda are proud to point out a best-in-class drag coefficient value of 0.270. A 5-inch full-color TFT display is also featured, with Honda promising a higher resolution than the outgoing item, while being fully customizable, so the rider can choose exactly what they want displayed. Easy control is ensured via a 4-way switch on the left switch block. Honda's smart key system has also been used, allowing the CBR1000RR-R to be started without a key, offering convenience as well as removing the need for a traditionally mounted ignition barrel, which would have been in the way of the new intake flow and ram air system. Other features include LED headlights and taillights, slipper clutch, 16-litre fuel capacity, and the HISS security system, although these are not new features. Now, for those after the 2020 SP variant, there's a whole host of extras and up-spec features, starting with the 43mm Öhlins NPX front forks and Öhlins TTX36 shock, which makes use of the Öhlins object-based tuning interface, offering semi-active Öhlins electronically controlled suspension. This offers 3 individual modes, which can be configured for specific tracks and switched instantly on the move. Also upgraded is the front brake calipers, with Brembo Stylema 4-piston radial mount items found on the SP compared to the standard edition Nissan items. The SP also benefits from a lithium-ion battery, no doubt bringing the weight down and ensuring both machines weigh in at 201 kilos. Plus, there's a standard fitment quickshifter on the SP, which seems a strange omission on the standard models these days, but we'll have to see how the 2020 Fireblade is priced to put that into perspective. Overall, we're seeing an essentially new Fireblade for 2020, as represented by calling it the CBR1000RR-R, which is a bit of a strange thing to say, and offering a much closer connection to the RC213V, but at a much more achievable price for the everyday rider. In fact, it'll probably come in at about 10% of the cost of an RC213V, at least here in Australia. So what do you think of the updates? Are you going to be rushing out to put your name down for a new CBR1000RR-R in 2020, or has another machine got your name in it in the new year? Let me know in the comments, and if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to sub and hit that notification bell. As always, stay safe out there, and thanks for watching.